Welcome back to Whiskey with E. I'm Eric. Now today we do have another whiskey with the E. So without further ado, let me introduce to you something very special. Something that I've had on the shelf. Something that I only have one bottle left out of 4. So here we go. Weller 12. Alrighties, for everyone that doesn't know, this is coming out of Buffalo Trace. Aged 12 years. It is a wheated bourbon coming in at 90 proof, which is 45% alcohol per volume. Now this here in Australia retails for the secondary price. All right, so you're going to find this at roughly $250. Supposedly it retails for 40 if you can find it for 40. I mean, it does have some hype around it. Obviously, people look at this as the poor man's Pappy. So if you can't afford a Pappy Van Winkle, people might look for the Weller. Or some may say you mix the 12-year with the Weller Antique, the 107, to make a poor man's Pappy. If anyone's ever tried that, let me know in the comments. All right, now, we are going to get this open. But before I do that, I will have a little read for you at the back. Now, let me have a little read of this for you, alright? Just so you know what is at the back of the label here. Now, it says here, born in 1825, William LaRue Weller was one of the early whiskey pioneers in America. W.L. Weller marketed his original bourbon recipe with wheat rather than rye in the mash bill. Weller spent his lifetime educating consumers about the difference in his bourbon. Wheat is a soft grain, providing this bourbon with a mild, gentle, and smooth sipping experience. Weller also believed in the importance of aging his whiskey. This fine 12-year-old bourbon whiskey has a deep amber color. All right, we won't read all this. Oh, I guess we can, since we're already here. And has a deep amber color with complex flavors of vanilla, oak, and cinnamon. Such typical notes, but a tribute to the man who made wheated bourbon legendary. It says here, distilled, aged, and bottled by Buffalo Trace. Alrighty, now that wasn't always the case, but before I get into the history of it, you know what, let's get this open, and I'll let it open up for a little bit and we'll have a little chat about the history. Alrighty, so here we go. Weller 12-year. It's not an uncorking, it's a screw cap, which is a little bit strange. Being an over $200 bottle, you kind of want it to be a cork. But anyways, here we go. Let's get it open. Boom. Done. Money gone. Value out the window. But you know what? As long as we're going to get to enjoy it, there is no harm in cracking bottles. Here we go. We're going to let that sit for a moment. Alrighties. Now, let me just maybe put that up somewhere. I can't even put it somewhere, can I? Let me just put it there for a second. Alrighties. While this is opening up, look at that. While that's opening up, guys, I'll give you a little history lesson. Now, alrighties. Now, I've written some notes. So, pretty much the name Weller. Alright. Weller is a wheated bourbon. Yes, I've just told you that. Originally created by Stitzel Weller Distilling Company. The brand is named after William LaRue Weller, a distiller who is credited by some as being the first to use wheat as the secondary grain. Like I said, he's promoting the wheat instead of the rye. Now, for everyone that knows, Maker's Mark also is a wheated bourbon. All right, anyways, moving on. Notably, William LaRue Weller hired the famous Julian Van Winkle. Sound familiar? Who would later be known as Pappy. Does that sound familiar? Van Winkle. All right. Began his career working for Weller. Weller passed in 1899, and his company W.L. Weller and Sons later merged with the A.P.H. Stitzel Distilling, which was owned by Van Winkle. The company worked together through Prohibition, operating under a medicinal license, and eventually became the Stitzel Weller Distilling Company in 1935. Now, that brand was later acquired by Buffalo Trace in 2002, I believe. So, but some of the old juice, I believe, like maybe in the Pappy, the Pappy Van Winkle 23 may still be juice from the old Stitzel Weller, but I think Buffalo Trace was already making like wheated bourbon, so don't quote me on it. And sorry about the lighting, guys. I just noticed it just went all dark. Now, the mash bill, it is undisclosed. You know how normally I like to tell you what's in the mash bill, but I guess since it's so famous, it's kind of like the McDonald Big Mac sauce, I guess. It's a guarded secret. Alrighties. Well, there you go. History lesson done. Alright, colour. That is a beautiful golden amber. I mean, it's a beautiful colour, guys. Look at that. Not too dark. Let's see how thick it is. Now, keep in mind, this is only 45%. But since I did just open up the Woodford Reserve Very Fine Rare Bourbon, and that was just close to this proof point, I figured, you know what, let's open up something that is similar to proof point and see if that was all right, actually, But I'm just curious to see how much of this oak is shining through. My memory of this is a long time ago now, so pretty much I acquired this bottle back in 2020, 2021. So this is an older bottling of Weller 12, guys. Anyways, without boring you anymore, let's get right to it. On the nose. I mean, nothing dramatic really, it's not like a mind-blowing nose. You're getting the quintessential vanillas, the caramels, that brown sugar, wrapped in this sweet, it's like sweet charred oak. But the oak is intermingling in with the sweetness. But the sweetness, what I'm picking up, it's not just the vanilla, like that caramel sweetness. There's actually hints of like apple or like an apricot. You know what? Nose is beautiful. Keep in mind, fresh crack, fresh bottle. It hasn't opened up at all, but I take it they sealed it. They made it like this for us to try. Maybe this is how they wanted us to taste it. We're just used to listening to the masses, and we wanted to open up. But sometimes opening up, you feel that it maybe just gets softer, or sure, all the rough edges might be toned down, but sometimes I think it becomes semi-flat when there's too much air time going in the bottle. But anyways, all right, here we go. I am ranting kind of, eh? Alrighties, let's just have a sip, guys. Cheers, everyone. Who has tried the Weller 12? What is your favorite Weller out of the lot? I've only ever had the Weller 12 and the Special Reserve, so I can't really comment on the rest. But cheers, everyone. Here we go. First sip. That is smooth, approachable. Yes, you got your traditional bourbon notes there. That vanilla, the caramel hits you first. But then there's like there's almost like a sweet caramelized cherry kind of note. Yeah, it's like a cherry, raspberry kind of note that's coming in on the palate. I mean, there's not too much heat that rolls over to the finish. Oh my goodness. Anyways, what I'm just looking to see if there's any more notes that I jotted down on this. Hold on. Yeah, no, that's about it. I mean, I don't have tasting notes. I was kind of looking for something, but that's about it, guys. I mean, it's a lovely nose. You're getting the vanilla, the caramel, like I said. You are getting that sweet cherry kind of vibe, that apricot kind of note. Ah, it's nice. Nose is nice, tastes nice, very smooth, very smooth. I know everyone hates that word, but soft on the palate. I mean, like the man said himself, he wanted to really promote wheat instead of rye because you know rye has that rye spice, and so there's not too much rye. Obviously, there's no rye spice vibes here. It's just very sweet and approachable. All right, second sip. Remember, that was just the first sip. We have to acclimate. Normally, the first sip is rough around the edges, but surprisingly, that first sip was approachable. All right, here we go. Mm. Oh, on the palate. It's kind of like finishing off to this, like a toasted pecan kind of note. Yes, there's that aged sweet oakiness there too, but it doesn't feel overpoweringly oaky, if that makes sense. Even though this is fully 12 years old, I don't know if it's because I'm just coming off the whole hint of 17 year in the Woodford Reserve special release Masters Collection one that I just opened. That's a whole lot more oaky. I don't know why I was expecting a lot of oak in this. Hmm. I mean, one of my favorite bottles at the moment is the Wild Turkey 12. Honestly, I think I would go for that rather this. Not trying to bring this down at all, guys. But it's just the price. But then again, the price for the Wild Turkey 12, if you can't find it on your shelves, is also climbing up in that secondary rate as well. You know, it's all going to be roughly 200-ish dollars now, 250. But it's just that this is lower proof, and I'm a Wild Turkey fan, and that's at least at 101, right? This is just 45%, 90 proof. I'm not saying this is bad. This is actually a very nice bourbon. I mean, I'm sure if you poured this up for anyone, they would love it. Nothing, nothing that's going to scare you away, and it's not too oaky. There is some sweet there. But from memory, if you want more sweet, less of this aged oak components weaving through, then you're probably better off trying the Special Reserve, which, oh my goodness, which for everyone that doesn't know what the Special Reserve looks like, I have an empty bottle here. I guess I tried these and I finished them well before I started reviewing stuff on YouTube, so it's probably on a Facebook group or something. I probably cracked it open and reviewed it, but like I said, same proof point, 45%, 90 proof, but this is just a whole lot more sweeter, more youthful, more brighter. Anyways, third sip, let's go. Oh my goodness. Like I said, guys, unscripted, unedited. Some may look at this as totally unprofessional, but since I did pay my own money for this, no one gifted me these bottles. I don't get sent anything from no distillery. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. All right. Mm. Mm. Like, don't get me wrong. I love the oak, guys. I love aged bourbon. It's just that I'm such a proof hound. I have to admit it. All right. I love my barrel proof bourbon. You know, this is the one thing that's kind of lacking in this bottling for me is probably the proof point. But we can't be biased like that. We have to really judge it as in comparing it to other 45% bourbons. How's the finish? How's the taste? You know, you got to compare it to other things that is 90 proof, you know. This is why the Weller 12, probably ends up last. You know, if people are blinding or the Weller, you know, range, or the Weller range, you know, they say that Weller 12 always comes last, and I can kind of see why. If you know, if every other release is a little bit higher, you know, minus the special reserve, you know, you're gonna have the antique, which is 107, which is what is 107 proof, guys? 53.5%. All right, this is a side note. I did used to blend this particular bottle of Baker's because it was 107. So that being said, people used to say you blend the Weller 12 with the Weller Antique, the 107, either 60-40, something like that, to create poor man's pappy. So I didn't have access to a Weller Antique, so I always used the Baker's. And honestly, the combo went well together, brought up the proof. I actually shared it with my old man. He enjoyed it a lot. He didn't know that the bottle was $250 and the Baker's was $100 something, which all up made the blend to be well over $300. You know, I mean, if only we could just find a pappy, guys, for a reasonable price. I mean, we don't have lotteries here in Australia, so for us to even get a pappy at retail is just physically impossible. I've seen a Pappy Van Winkle 23-year one time in my life at a Dan Murphy's. You know what he was selling for? $3,000, unless it was $3,999, $4,000. I wonder if that bottle is more expensive now, and maybe I should have just bought it when it was $3,000, $4,000. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have tried making the poor man's pappy. Maybe I've asked you this before. Yeah. Or have you substituted and blended some Bakers with your Weller 12? But you know what? Either way, beautiful bottle. I am kind of wanting to save, obviously I'm going to save some of this. I'm not going to do my usual finish the bottle situations. I kind of want to get recent releases of the Weller 12 and just compare. I kind of want to see, has the quality changed? Is it still the same? You know, these 2024 release Weller 12s compared to this 2020, 2021. I'm not actually sure what year this is from, but I actually bought it in 2020 or 2021, if that makes sense. I mean, if it helps, there's some little serial numbers here. Maybe anyone knows. It says C.08037. If that means anything, if anyone knows what that label means and you can work out what year it's from, that would be awesome. Barcode? I don't think barcodes really help. But if anyone recognizes that and you could tell me what the year this is from, let me know. Oh, look, it even says it's back here. Oh, no, it says C.11405 right there. If anyone knows what that means. Anyways, I'm going to pour up some more. This video may cut out due to lacking of memory space, but if it does, just know that I love yous all my subscribers. Yous are all awesome. Much appreciated. Keep following me on my journey, guys. I'm trying. But like I said, you're all loved. You're all appreciated. Much love to yous all. And always remember, drink responsibly, quality over quantity, and don't drink and drive, peoples. Cheers, everyone. There is just no... It's just so soft. It's so approachable. I don't want to say the S word, but it is smooth. You did not say the S word. Approachable, guys, approachable. Non-offensive. Oh my goodness. Sensitive people with the sensitive S word. Honestly, if you're not careful, you can easily finish this bottle because it's just so sippable. I wouldn't even say add in any ice cubes. I wouldn't even add in any water to this. It's just good the way it is, guys. Yeah, that peak of oak. And then it goes to that roasted-y, toasted pecan kind of finish. But then the finish isn't too long, in my opinion. Obviously, it's not a barrel proof, guys. You can't expect that that warmth down your chest. But we just got to judge it for, do you still get the flavors in your throat, and how long does that last for? Which it's gone now. One more. It's not bad. It's not bad. All right.